Gentlemen? Oh, got the thumbs up, so.
1 second.
Good morning. It is 9:04, and I call to order the January 24th, 2023 session of the Special Magistrate proceeding for the City of Daytona Beach. My name is Robert Riggio, and I will be the Special Magistrate this morning. Let's start moving down the agenda. Are there any announcements?
Yes, sir. Page 3, case number 6, RTL 11-21-234 at 505 Fifth Avenue is in compliance 1/20/2023.
Okay, that's case 6.
Case 6.
Okay. There.
Case number 12, RTL 08-22-166 at 721 South Grandview Avenue is in compliance January 23rd, 2023. Page 5, case number 16, RTL 08-22-168 at 1441 Mississippi Street is in compliance January 20th, 2023. Page number 6, case number 17, RTL 04-22-83 at 611 North Street is in compliance January 20th, 2023.
Okay. Is that all?
That's it.
Good. All right. I have approved the November 22nd, 2022 meeting minutes and have provided them to the board secretary. And so now we move on to the hearing of cases, and the first thing we need to do is to swear in any city employees who will be giving testimony this morning.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give was the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay. Do we have any attorneys present? Ms. Gow, what case are you? Case number 9. Why don't we take you out of order and let you get on your way? And case number 9, RTL 04-22-106, Advanced Minerals, Inc., trustee in 317 Fairview Avenue Land Trust, cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 317 Fairview Avenue.
Could you state your name, please?
Jessica Gow with Cobb Cole Law Firm, 149 South Ridgewood Avenue, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Okay, Ms. Tomengo, do you want to give your particulars on this matter?
Yes, sir. Good morning. I'm Inspector LaWanda Tomingo. My credentials are on file with the city.
Since the last hearing, I have received communication from Attorney Gao to provide updates regarding the rezoning processes for this parcel. She did inform me that they are currently working on getting bids for demolition of that rear structure, as well as continuing the processes for rezoning to approve the 2 units in the front for consideration of rental. So I'm requesting to amend this case to next cutoff.
Ms. Gao, is that agreeable?
Yes, by next cutoff, we should have a timeline for the demolition of the structure. And after that, the city is actually administratively changing the land use and zoning on the site after the demolition of the rear structure. So we should have their timing as well at that point.
Okay. Therefore, in case number 9, RTL 04-22106, Advanced Minerals, Inc., trustee in 317 Fairview Avenue Land Trust for property at 317 Fairview Avenue, I hereby order the previous order of noncompliance be amended to allow the respondent until, let's see,
February 22nd.
February 22nd. Do you have a sheet with the dates on them? Because I have the other code board dates. For till February 22nd, 2023, to bring the property into compliance, or be returned to a proceeding for the special magistrate on February 28th, 2023, for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
Thank you.
Okay. And that's 222. All right. How many case people or respondents are present this morning? 2? And do we have any for Zoom? Probably the Daytona 19 folks. Anyone else?
7 and 8.
Oh,
Is he
Okay.
on? Okay, okay.
Okay. What I'd like to do, would it cause a problem if I take these 2 folks who are here out of order?
Nope. Yeah, Mr. Olson is here for 4, right?
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. So just to update you, case numbers 7 and 8 are Zoom. Case number, just tell me. Give me just 1 minute. 7 and 8 are Zoom. Just told me that. Case number 4. Mr. Olson is here for that case. No, just wait till he calls the case. And then also Mr. Cox, which is case number 10, is here.
Okay.
Those are the cases that are present.
Okay. Well, I'd like to amend this to take Mr. Olson first, then Mr. Cox.
Okay.
And then we'll do the Zoom cases, and then if anyone else,
Okay.
then we'll go back to taking them in the order on which they appear on the agenda.
Sounds good.
So the next case will be number 4, RTL 01-2308, Ambassador of Business Health, Wellness, and et cetera, cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 1301 North Atlantic Avenue.
Could you state your name, please?
Robert Olson.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And
Okay.
your relationship to Ambassador of Business, Health, and Wellness?
I'm the director.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Cole?
This property is occupied. The case opened on March 3rd of 2022. They were first notified May 16th of 2022. Compliance date was set for April 12th of 2022. The last inspection was January 13th of 2023. I'm asking for a finding of noncompliance with compliance by next cutoff. He is working with planning on a parking issue, and we're waiting for a ruling on them.
Okay.
That's what we've been waiting on because my contractor said that I need it in writing exactly what you want. And they've been going back and forth trying to get it together. And we're
Okay.
take wherever, we have to do.
It sounds like you're on the road to resolving this.
Yes.
But you are in non-compliance at this
I understand.
point, and so therefore I'm going to make a finding of non-compliance, give you till next month. Work with Mr. Cole. Sometimes I know when you're working something like this, you'll probably, I'm just looking at this, may need some work done, maybe paving or something. And that means getting permits and,
I
but those
made
are
it-
things in the future, and I
right,
see where
I
this,
made an appointment with Window World, but they can't see me for 45 days because of all the hurricane. I had appointment before, but they had to cancel because of hurricane.
I understand windows have been a problem for several years now, starting with the, what was that called, when all the boats were backed up? The supply chain shortage and the windows. So therefore, in case number 4, RTL 01-2308, Ambassador of Business Health, Wellness, and et cetera, for property at 1301 North Atlantic Avenue, I find the respondent to be in noncompliance, nor the respondent to come into compliance by February 20.
Could I ask for an extension of time more than that, please? At least
Well-
60 days? Because I have to, because I'm dealing with them and they haven't told me exactly what I need. And I was in compliance with Kevin Yates when he came, so he checked everything out. And the only thing I needed was the rental license, but they wouldn't let me get the rental license until they figured out the parking.
Mr. Cole,
I don't have a problem with that.
if the city doesn't have a problem, then I don't have a problem. But generally, in many cases, I see that there is sometimes a need to keep somebody's feet to the fire.
Believe
Sounds
me,
like
my
you're
feet are
moving
to the
forward.
fire.
Well, I would recommend that as soon as planning makes their ruling, we set up a rental inspection.
That'd be great.
Okay?
Okay. Well, let me revise that, and I'll start over again. And therefore, the compliance date will be March 22nd. I have to have a date.
Yes, sir.
And that means that if everything is going well, Mr. Cole will come back and let me know, and you're working in good faith. But there are occasions where people don't go
I
forward in
understand.
good faith, so.
And I appreciate it.
All right, therefore, let me just start over again. I find in case number 4, RTL 01-2308, Ambassador of Business Health, Wellness, and et cetera, for property at 1301 North Atlantic Avenue, I find the respondent to be in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by March 22nd, 2023, or be returned to a hearing before the special magistrate on March 28th, 2023, for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
Thank you.
And good luck. Thank you. Okay. Okay, I'm going to skip forward, as I said, now to case number 10, which is a case which is before us for consideration of a fine. Case number 10, RTL 08-22-165, Theo Cox, cited for failure to correct violations of City Code at 857 Magnolia
Come forward.
Avenue. Mr. Mango?
If you'll just come to this podium. And state your name, please.
Theo Matt Cox.
Okay. Are you also testifying?
Yes, I'm helping him out.
Okay, and your name is?
Ashanti Cox.
Okay, raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Mango?
Okay, since the last hearing, I did not receive communication from Mr. Cox, the owner. I did conduct an on-site visit on January 9th just to check the exterior to see if there was any progress for the repairs being made. It appears that the property is vacant or unoccupied. I don't have any details on the status of the progress of repairs since the last hearing, so we're requesting a fine of $100 a day up to $15,000 max, or until the property comes into compliance for this case.
Okay. Mr. Cox, it's now your turn.
Yes, I had the guy to come out and they assessed the roof, and they were supposed to be doing it, but I'm waiting on them. They haven't responded to me yet. But everything is, the insurance company and all is on point with it. It's just people that came out, and they said it was supposed to be coming back. So I'm waiting on it, I guess because of the overload that they might have with other damages around. I just on a waiting list, I guess.
Okay,
We're currently communicating with R&R Roofing. They came out last Wednesday to do a walkthrough and give us an estimate. The roof was completely blown out of the first 2 apartments from the hurricane, so we're not really able to do a lot of repairs inside. We've done small things, but nothing major, just because no roof, so we don't really want to start any repairs yet. So it just came out last Wednesday. I'm going to be in contact with them to figure out start that process.
And I did.
are the units occupied?
No,
No,
there's nobody
no,
in
sir.
there. Nobody's
Okay.
What I did is the mold and mildew was building up. I got some mold and mildew cleaning it and painted it. So that kept it from mildew.
Okay. I need to impress upon you that an important part of these matters is communication between you and the code inspector.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were aware. We just
And-
we got a new number, so I thought he was already in communication with her since he got a new number.
Okay.
So I wasn't aware.
Okay, the code inspector here is today asking for a fine, and I suspect the basis of her request is not only has nothing happened that she can see, but the fact that she hasn't heard anything back from you. But I'm looking at it this way. Was that hurricane damage to this?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to impose a fine today, okay? But I will be most likely imposing a fine if this comes back again, and the inspector once again informs me she has no idea as to what's going on there, okay? That's the purpose, is to get your attention, and then you get a fine, and I can tell you $100 a day starts to build up real quick. And it kind of defeats the whole point. You want to rent these units, and it's hard to make money as a landlord if you're paying the city hundreds of dollars a day. So you need to make sure you're in communication with Ms. Tomengo, okay, so that she knows that something is going on, or if R&R Roofing has given you a date, and let's say it's past that. The February 22nd date, that's the cutoff, that she's aware of it, okay, because I know roofers are backed up, but she needs to be as knowledgeable about what's going on there as you are.
Yeah.
And so when she comes here, she's not saying, I have no idea.
I'm
I mean-
sorry. Yeah, that's my fault. I'm usually in communication with him to make sure he's communicating. I got him a new phone with a new number. I thought they were already.
Okay, well, don't assume anything, because the downside in this proceeding is a fine that gets levied, and the city is oftentimes reluctant to make reductions of those fines, and so therefore it can become a problem. And I know if you're moving forward, put that money towards fixing the units and getting those back online, and not on other things. So this is sort of your one-time free pass. But after that, unless I know that your inspector is on board with what's going on, I will be imposing a fine. Okay? So therefore, in case number 10, RTL 08, Ms. Domingo, is that okay with you?
Yes, like I said, I did go out to the property on the 9th, and I did verify that both units are in fact vacant. There had been some communication from a previous tenant there where she made me aware that she moved out because of hurricane damage. But again, the inspections took place month before, and that it was prior to the hurricane happening. But I'm in agreement with you about amending it to the next cutoff, and me possibly being able to get back in to re-inspect after they coordinate repairs for the roof.
Okay. You're fortunate, like I said, that we're all on the same page, and those units are unoccupied. I probably wouldn't be doing this if there were people living in there, and I've had instances where people have been in there without roofs over their heads, so that's not acceptable. So therefore, in case number 10, RTL 08-22-165, respondent being Theo Cox for property 857 Magnolia Avenue, I hereby order the previous order of noncompliance be amended to allow the respondent until February 22nd, 2023 to bring the property into compliance or be returned to a proceeding for the special magistrate on February 28, 2023 for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. And good luck.
Thank
And
you.
All right.
okay. Okay, the next case, I'm going to do them as I said, and then we're going to go back.
fine.
I think we have case number 5 here now. But we're going to move at this point to cases 7 and 8. Okay, case number 7, RTL 08-22-163 Daytona 19 LLC, cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 549 Mulberry Street.
We should have them via Zoom. Okay.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Could you state your names, please?
Andy Lou.
Zarilla.
Ralph Kiaya.
Hold on. Raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mango?
Okay, since the last hearing, I have been in communication with Mr. Wilson Zarilla regarding the status of the remaining repairs for this property. There are still the issues of the windows, that windows are on order for and awaiting installation. There was an on-site visit yesterday where I did get photo documentation that some of the exterior siding is damaged at the property, and I did relay that information to Mr. Wilson Zarilla by email, in which he communicated back to me as well. I'm requesting to amend to next cutoff to allow time for the installation of the windows and to address that repair at the exterior for the siding for this property.
Okay. Gentlemen, do you have anything to respond?
No, we spoke to our contractor. He should be ready in about 2 weeks to start that job for the windows.
Okay. I'll tell you, the longer this goes on, back in November, it was just some windows, and now we've added some siding to it, so it would seem like it's in your best interest to try and get things done so you can get this thing resolved. It's someday you could end up looking at a fine, and the sooner you're off the radar screen, the less likely that's going to occur.
Yeah,
So,
siding should be done by next week, the latest. That shouldn't be an issue.
okay.
Yeah. I'll send Mrs. Temengo an email with a picture in it to show that it's been resolved.
Okay, and it's windows now and siding, so your contractor have to look at both of those.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I
Yes, sir.
I believe that we do have a fine on this property for windows.
Do we?
We do. It was an auto fine order.
Was that the one where the windows were
Yes.
nailed shut or
Yes.
something?
It's units 2 and 3 at this property.
Was that ever rectified?
No,
Is it?
and it's the remaining violation out of all of the violations that were documented, in addition to this new exterior siding violation that I saw
It was-
yesterday.
Here's the order. It was an egress issue.
Okay, well, there's not, this order was issued, is this, back in September of 2021.
Right.
I guess you'll probably be back before me with some discussion about this one, but that is something that we will be dealing with at a later date. Right now, we are just resolving the particular remaining matters of this of this item as they pertain to bringing the unit into compliance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, have you checked, are those windows still?
The bath window that's there that was installed inappropriately, and for units 2 and 3, those are the remaining violations. I got photo documentation of the other violations that failed. It's just the windows, and then for my on-site visit yesterday, I saw that there was some exterior siding that was
Okay.
peeling away. So it's windows that have not been installed as yet, and that siding that needs to be repaired.
Okay. Well, then, those things are what they are, and your recommendation is to continue this till next month?
Yes, sir.
And these gentlemen are amenable, and it sounds like their contractor will be on it. So therefore, in case number 7, RTL 08-22-163, Daytona 19 LLC, respondent for property at 549 Mulberry Street, I hereby order the previous order of noncompliance be amended to allow the respondent until February 22nd, 2023, to bring the property into compliance, or be returned to a proceeding before a special magistrate on February 28, 2023, for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Okay. The next case is number 8, RTL 08-22-164, Daytona 19 LLC, cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 801 South Ridgewood Avenue.
Could I just, that was, you amended that to the next cutoff, is that correct?
That's
I
correct.
just missed the date, sorry.
February 22nd. All right, Ms. Domingo?
Okay, since the last hearing, I have been in communication with Mr. Zarillo regarding the status of the repairs for the property and getting the property scheduled for reinspection. He did inform me that there was recently a move out for Unit 3 for this property and that they are making repairs. We do have this property scheduled for reinspection on February 10th at 10 a.m. for all 4 units and the exterior of this property, so I'm requesting to amend to next cutoff.
Okay. Gentlemen, is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You should be
Yes, sir.
ready for
Okay.
Mrs. Domingo then.
Therefore, case number 8, RTL 08-22-164, respondent being Daytona 19 LLC for property at 801 South Ridgewood Avenue. I hereby order the previous order of noncompliance be amended to allow the respondent until February 22nd, 2023, to bring the property into compliance or be returned to a proceeding before the special magistrate on February 28, 2023, for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. That's it. Is there anything further?
Just had a quick question in regards to 505 Fifth Avenue. We just passed into being compliant. So I was wondering if that Unit 4 could now be rented.
I believe there is the issue of the lien fine that was going for those windows that need to be rectified on that. Is that one of the ones that had
No, that's
the
not it.
lien fine?
No, that was.
That's 115
801.
South Grandview.
Oh,
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, if it came into compliance, it's,
You may want to follow up on them, just in case there's some issue. I don't know of any.
yeah.
I would suggest that you contact Ms. Domingo, either after this hearing or whatever, and discuss that with her so that we can move on with the proceeding here, and she can tell you what, if it's in compliance or what the status is. I don't want to have her sort of caught off the cuff. She needs to sit down and just take a quick look at the
right.
file, I
For a couple
suspect.
of their properties that had the running fine for the windows, and I know that there was an obstruction to egress in there, so I need to look at the particulars.
Yeah,
for
the
that.
other
Okay.
one was 801 South Ridgewood, the second on this,
Okay.
both of these
It
cases.
sounds like you all have been in contact with each other, so that's something you should be doing outside this hearing.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
All right. Okay. And we have another
Same page.
oh. Who is, I just noticed RE Equity Investment Group.
Yes.
Is that?
We have him here.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to take this final one out of order, and then we will
And
proceed.
then we have the lane review on Zoom.
Okay, we'll do the lien review.
Okay, that's okay. We can deal with it then when it comes.
Whenever. So, let's move on to case number 5, RTL 012301, RE Equity Investment Group LLC, cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 819 North Ridgewood Avenue. Mr. Cole? Oh, let's have the respondent come forward and be sworn in first.
Could you state your name, please?
David Rivas.
David
Rivas, R-I-V-A-S.
R.
R-I-V for Victor, A-S.
Yes. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And your relationship to RE Equity Investment Group?
General Manager.
Okay. Mr. Cole?
This case was opened October 10th of 2022. They were first notified on October 17th of 2022 with a compliance date of October 31st of 2022. Last inspection was January 13th of 2023. I'm asking for a finding of noncompliance with compliance by next cutoff. This property, you've combined two properties, I believe, and there's about 7 or 8 units on it. If they won't need a rental license, but I think they're going to need some more parking. And that's something, are you working with planning?
Yes, so I was here today because of a license issue, which we do have a license. The property, actually, the parcel was combined by the city a long time ago, and it consists of 3 buildings, along with some sheds. And then there's another parcel, so it's actually a multifamily, because there's many families on there. After speaking, my colleague spoke with Mr. Cole here. He says that he would like us to come up to something related to the parking, but this property's been here 44 years. We didn't know there was even considered needing additional parking because this is how the property was when we first got it. So we made improvements to the property. Building was abandoned, homeless were in there. There was needles everywhere. It was very bad. And here we come in making it beautiful, you know, for the city and as well as for us, for our tenants to enjoy living there. We have no issues pulling the permit to get this parking, but it's going to take us at least 60 to 90 days to get some quotes because it's, you know, there's additional layers of concrete or asbestos, asbestos, I'm sorry, that needs to be poured around to accommodate this request for parking.
Mr. Cole, is currently, if I understand, the only problem right now is a lack of parking.
Yeah, I believe so. That front building, the big building there, it has no parking for it. The other ones seem to have parking for it, but that front building has 4 units on it, and I don't believe there's any parking accommodation for that one.
Mr. Magistrate, just to save us a little time on this, the only violation he cited for this time was the rental license. That sounds like that's been resolved through the combining of the parcels. So at this time, while he has other things he needs to accomplish, and we'll be happy to, you know, I guess the likelihood is that if you don't get them accomplished, you'll be cited for those. That's not what he cited for today, so.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing. I mean, he's got the license, and the license is for the units on there.
So there's no other violation related to what he was cited for, so in that regard,
Yeah, I was,
announced it's in compliance.
yeah, my alternative was just to continue it, because I don't want to make a non-compliance based on something that he's fulfilled.
Yeah, well,
So,
I appreciate that.
so,
doesn't mean you resolved everything. It just means
No, for this
case-
particular scenario.
Yeah, how many units is it? Is it 7?
It's 9 units on that property total.
So that, yeah, they don't need a rental license from the city with 9 units.
okay. So, Mr. Jackson, what is your request from the city? Do you want this case dismissed?
Well, no, based on based on this information, it would be announced as a compliance with the issue of the rental license. It's been resolved by the combining of the property.
Okay, so,
Is that correct?
Yeah,
Is that-
well, the original license was for several units on the side, and that's would have been 4, but now that they've got this one added
Approved
in-
and clarified and everything else.
Yeah, they've gone beyond what the city requires.
Okay, so this matter is in compliance.
Yeah, I think that would be the best.
So, I mean, that's where it stands. It's in compliance, and you can work with,
Rental licenses.
as far as the rental license issue
Correct.
is.
Well, I just wanted to let them know that, we will address this additional issue, just need some timing,
Right.
that's all. Okay.
So I just want to make sure procedurally you're happy with it
Oh,
being,
let me just, one more. Yeah, we'll, as far as for the rental license violation, we'll call it in compliance based on the actions taken. Only thing, he still needs a business tax receipt, but again, that's a separate issue. Just need to make sure he knows what all he needs to get
That
taken
I
care of.
wasn't aware of.
okay. So therefore, this matter came here before me on a failure to obtain rental license. You have a rental license, so you're in compliance.
Okay.
So there's
We
nothing,
resolved the need to obtain one
yeah,
All right.
from the city.
okay?
Yes, sir.
So that's it. This matter is
Thank you very much.
off the agenda. Thank
Guys
you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. All right. And we have a lien review. Is that-
He's not on Zoom.
Oh, he's not on. So we will go back to the beginning and just work our way down the list. So we'll start with case number 1, RTL 012302, Anthony Walker and Nicole Tickle, cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 462 Tuscany Chase Drive. And is anyone here on behalf of Anthony Walker and Nicole Tickle? There is no respondent present. Mr. Cole?
This property is occupied. The case was opened on August 25th of 2022. They were first notified on October 20th of 2022, and a compliance date was set by November 3rd of 2022. Last inspection was January 13th, and I'm asking for a finding of noncompliance with compliance by next cutoff. I have had contact with him, and he's supposedly in the process of putting in a rental license.
Okay. And hopefully they do and they don't come back. But at this point, they are in non-compliance. So therefore, in case number 1, RTL 012302, respondents being Anthony Walker and Nicole Tickle for property at 462 Tuscany Chase Drive, I find the respondents to be in non-compliance and order the respondents to come into compliance by February 22nd, 2023, or be returned to a hearing before the special magistrate on February 28th, 2023, for consideration fine of up to $1,000 per day. Okay. Next case is number 2, RTL 012303. Anil Maharaj and Uginder Maharaj, respondents, for property at 331 Taylor Avenue. Is there anyone present on behalf of either Anil or Uginder Maharaj? There is no respondent present.
This property is vacant at this time. It does have a rental license. They've applied for a rental license. An inspection was done a while back, but he failed. So I wound up, I could not get them to come into compliance, so I opened a case on October 7th of 2022. They were first notified on October 7th of 2022 with a compliance date of October 21st of 2022. Last inspection was January 13th of 2023. And I'm asking for a finding of noncompliance with compliance by next cutoff.
Officer Cole, are they holding themselves out as a rental or just last time?
No, it was a rental. I did an inspection. They failed the inspection.
Okay.
And I did a follow-up inspection and it failed again.
And they've given no indicators of the plan to cease renting?
Well, they have evicted the tenants. They said they were having trouble getting them. Every time they would clean something up, they would mess it up again. So the property is vacant now, and I have had contact with them, and they're almost ready for an inspection.
Okay.
Okay. Well, therefore, based on the testimony, the property is in non-compliance, but it sounds like it may resolve itself, hopefully. So therefore, in case number 2, RTL 012303, respondents being Anil Maharaj and Uginder Maharaj for property at 331 Taylor Avenue, I find the respondents to be in non-compliance, nor the respondents come into compliance by February 22nd, 2023, or be returned to a hearing before the special magistrate on February 28, 2023, for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. And if, Mr. Cole, if you can try and wrap this up, because I'd hate to levy a fine against them if they are basically not going to do anything with it. They either have to do something or...
Well, they want to rent it, but the tenants were busting things up as they fixed them. And so,
Okay.
They should, it's vacant now, they're gonna get it in compliance and get an inspection done.
Very good. Case number 3, RTL 012304, GEA Seaside Investments, Inc., cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 231 North Hollywood Avenue. Is anyone here on behalf of GEA Seaside Investments, Inc.? There is no respondent present. Mr. Cole?
This property is occupied, and the case was opened on June 30th of 2022. They were first notified on August 16th of 2022 with a compliance date of August 30th of 2022. Last inspection was January 13th of 2023 with no response. I'm asking for a finding of noncompliance with compliance by next cutoff.
Okay. Mr. Cole, is the property vacant? Or
No, it is
rent?
occupied.
It's occupied. Mr. Jackson, is GEA Seaside Investment still in bankruptcy court?
They're still under a reorganization plan to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
And so we have been handling that accordingly throughout the life of this bankruptcy, which is based on an order from the bankruptcy court. We do not proceed with filing a lien, but they do have the fine to this property, as with all the other properties where they have ceased to be responsive regarding violations.
Can the bankruptcy judge make them more responsive? Because from the outward appearance, this looks like a well-maintained property from the outside. I don't know what it looks like on the inside, or the back, or the sides. All I see is the front here.
It's a very old building. It's a very, very old building. It's all wood. You see the shutters there are original to the house.
Yeah, are those shingles that are on the side of the house, or is that some kind of siding?
It's wood siding, wooden siding. It's
Yeah.
a very old house. It
Looks like in New
early
England.
1900s probably.
Yeah, the historic thing, as you may recall, with their properties have been that it's not uncommon for them to do some cosmetic stuff, but still have substantial violations to address.
Okay, well then, based on the testimony in case number 3, RTL 012304, respondent being GEA Seaside Investments, Inc., for property at 231 North Hollywood Avenue, I find the respondent to be in noncompliance, nor the respondent to come into compliance by February 22nd, 2023, or be returned to a hearing before the special magistrate on February 28th, 2023, for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Okay, I think, let's see, 5 is in compliance, 6 is in compliance, 7 we have heard, 8 we have heard, 9 we have heard, 10 we are up to case number 11. Case number 11, RTL 10-22-194, BMS Holdings, LLC, cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 336 Fulton Street. Is anyone here on behalf of BMS Holdings? There is no respondent present. Mr. Mango?
Okay, since the last hearing, I have been in contact with the property management at a rental inspection that took place on January 10th of 2023. The property failed the rental inspection, and there is an extensive list of repairs that need to take place at the property. So I'm requesting to amend to the March cutoff to allow times to make the necessary repairs to this property.
Mr. Mango, do you think they will be made?
I do think that they will be made based off of my experience with this owner and property management for some previous properties, as well as I've been in communication with the tenant throughout recent duration of this case, and she has informed me about some of the repairs that have taken place since bringing attention to certain things. But I was just able to complete the full rental inspection on the 10th, and their maintenance crew was there documenting the violations as well. And I do believe that they'll make progress and come into compliance.
Okay. All right, then therefore, in case number 11, RTL 10-22-194, BMS Holdings LLC, respondent for property at 336 Fulton Street. I hereby order the previous order of noncompliance be amended to allow the respondent until February 22nd, 2023 to bring property into compliance or be returned to proceeding before the special magistrate on February 28, 2023 for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Mr. Mango, if you're...
Did you ask for March cutoff?
March cutoff.
I will amend that to be the compliance shall be by March 22nd, 2023. And if they are not in compliance by that date, then they will come before a special magistrate on March 28, 2023 for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. And Mr. Mango, if you can pass on to them that based upon the pictures, they will get a fine if they don't do something about that. So it's in their best interest to try to
Yes, sir.
bring this to resolution. All right. Next case is going to be number 13, RTL 01-2225, R. Lawrence Vandenberg, cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 299 Woodland Avenue. Mr. Cole, first there's anyone here on behalf of Mr. Vandenberg? There's no respondent present.
This property is occupied, and since last month's hearing, I've had no contact, but they're still going through the auxiliary dwelling unit process, and that's coming through planning and zoning over here, and I'm recommending to amend to the April cutoff to allow that process to continue.
Okay, so that would be April 19th of 2023. All right. So therefore, in case number 13, RTL 01-2225, respondent being R. Lawrence Vandenberg for property at 299 Woodland Avenue, I hereby order the previous order of noncompliance be amended to allow the respondent until April 19th, 2023 to bring property into compliance or be returned to proceeding before the special magistrate on April 25th, 2023 for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Case number 14, RTL 06-22-126, Autonomics LLC, cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 531 Janus Avenue.
This case is very similar to the other one. It is occupied. There's been no contact, but they are in the auxiliary dwelling unit process, and I'm recommending to amend to April also on that.
Okay. I see no one here on behalf of Autonomics, so therefore I will take your recommendation. Therefore, in case number 14, RTL 06-22-126, respondent being Autonomics LLC, for property at 531 Janus Avenue, I hereby order the previous order of noncompliance be amended to allow the respondent until April 19th, 2023 to bring the property into compliance or be returned to proceeding before the special magistrate on April 25th, 2023 for consideration of a fine of $1,000 per day. Case number 15, RTL 11-22-197, respondent Manuel Marquez, cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 1327 Eugene Black Street. Anyone here on behalf of Mr. Marquez? There's no respondent present. Okay, Mr. Cole?
Since last month's hearing, I've had no contact and seen that no progress. There's no rental license put in. I cannot tell if it's occupied or vacant. The gate on the front is shut with a bicycle lock, and there is a key box on it. But it has been held out on the internet for rental. I have that here if you would like to see it.
I would like to see that, so I have something that would provide me, because it is a violation to hold something out for rent. Okay. And this is October 21, 22. And 1327 Eugene Black Street. Okay, certainly this needs to be made a part of the record.
Do you want to see this, Tony?
It's attached to the case.
Okay, and what is your recommendation?
A fine of $100 a day to reach max of $15,000.
And starting today?
Starting today.
All right. Therefore, case number 15, RTL 11-22-197, the respondent being Manuel Marquez, for property at 1327 Eugene Black Street. I find the respondent, who was previously found in noncompliance, remains in noncompliance, and therefore order a fine in the amount of $100 per day to commence on January 24th, 2023, and to continue each day thereafter until the fine has reached the amount of $15,000 or the property is brought into compliance. Case 16, property is in compliance. Case 17, the property is in compliance. We move to case 18, RTL 09-22-185, respondent New Leaf Real Estate LLC for property at 323 Taylor Avenue, and it has been cited for failure to correct violations of city code. Mr. Cole?
This property is having a zoning review. They're trying to combine a big group of properties, and it's still in there. I'm recommending to amend to the next hearing and to allow that process to continue.
Okay. Therefore, in case number 18, RTL 09-22-185, respondent being New Leaf Real Estate LLC for property at 323 Taylor Avenue, I hereby order the previous order of noncompliance be amended to allow the respondent until February 22nd, 2023 to bring the property into compliance or be returned to a proceeding before the special magistrate on February 28, 2023 for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Case number 19, RTL 08-22-157, Richard Britt Jr., who was cited for failure to correct violations of city code at 426 Model Street. Is anyone here on behalf of Mr. Britt? There's no respondent present.
This property is occupied. Since last month's hearing, I've had no contact. I've seen no progress, and I'm recommending a fine of $100 a day up to $15,000. It had an inspection. There were numerous violations, and I've had no contact with him.
Okay, I'm sort of leaning towards maybe a little bit more of a fine, since we fine somebody $100 for simply holding out a property. This one, you have evidence that it's occupied?
Yeah, I did one inspection there, and there was numerous violations, and he's not contacted me to get the second inspection done, and it's past due.
I'd be more amenable to about $150 a day.
That's fine with me.
And starting today?
Starting today.
Okay, and it's 15,000 cap. Therefore, in case number 19, RTL 08-22-157, respondent being Richard Britt Jr. for property at 426 Model Street, I find that the respondent was previously found in noncompliance, remains in noncompliance, and therefore order a fine in the amount of $150 per day to commence on January 24th, 2023, and to continue each day thereafter until the fine has reached the amount of $15,000 or the property is brought into compliance. Case number 20, RTL 10-22-192. Stanley Smith is cited for failure to correct violations of City Code at 858 Pinewood Street. Is anyone here on behalf of Mr. Smith? No, there is no respondent present. Mr. Cole.
This property is occupied since last month hearing. I have had contact. A rental application has been received and processed, and an inspection was done. I'm amending to recommend to amend to next cutoff to allow the repairs to be completed and a second inspection done.
Okay, sounds like there's progress being made.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, in case number 20, RTL 10-22-192, respondent being Stanley Smith for property at 858 Pinewood Street, I hereby order the previous order of noncompliance be amended to allow the respondent until February 22nd, 2023, to bring the property into compliance or be returned to a proceeding on February 28, 2023, before the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. And it appears that that completes all of the cases on the agenda except for the lien review. Is the is
Here? No. Okay. This is for that case.
okay. I'm just double checking, and I would appreciate, Madam Secretary, if you could as well, just to make sure we have gotten through all of them.
I think we have, but I'll look through again for sure.
That is one of the downsides of taking things out of order.
Yeah, but I write my orders in red, so they're pretty easy to, yep, they're good.
Okay. Well, our respondent in this case is not present. And you want to go forward with the lien review?
Yes, we do.
Okay, this is lien review 1, RTL 08-22-155, 704 Alabama Street. The respondent being Adiemi Abel, cited, who was cited for failure to correct violations of City Code at, well, I don't know what the property is. 704 Alabama Street. And at this time, compliance was achieved in November 8th, and there is an outstanding fine of $4,100. Okay, Mr. Sykes?
Yeah, my name is Denzel Sykes, Code Compliance Manager with the City of Daytona Beach Code Compliance Department. I met with Mr. Abel, June Barnes and I met with Mr. Abel earlier this week, and based on the promptness of his actions and also the fact that he had about almost 10 other properties that he obtained licenses for once Inspector Cole made him aware of it, we are asking or recommending to the magistrate to reduce the fine down to $500. Okay. And he's not able to be here today. He stayed on long as he could, but he did forward an email that he was receptive to that recommendation and that we spoke. Okay. I think you have that in front of you.
Yeah, I have an email in front of me, and it says, good morning, I hereby accept to pay the recommended reduced fine of $500 instead of $4,100, and the city is
and that's the
requesting
recommendation.
It to be reduced to that amount. So therefore, that's fine with me, especially considering that he has brought a lot of other properties on board as well and resolved them. Therefore, in case number RTL 08-22-155, for property at 704 Alabama Street, and the respondent being Adiemi Abel, I order the lien in that case to be reduced to the amount of $500. Subject to being paid within 30 days, or the fine will revert back to the original amount. And if Mr. Abel chooses to listen to this, because this is online, I always add the caveat that if he runs into a problem, in paying that, to immediately contact city attorney and discuss the matter with them.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We are up to, is there any further cases that are out there?
No other cases?
Is there any miscellaneous business?
No, sir?
No, sir.
Therefore, it being 10:02, I hereby call that this proceeding is hereby adjourned.